thank you for once again enabling this interaction with the press. Indeed, this is the first time post-elections that I'm talking to the media. Related to your question, the elections went very well, and I want to congratulate Ugandans who exercised their right to choose their leaders peacefully. I also want to thank the security forces who did their work, still do, to ensure that our country remains peaceful during that time and up to now.
There was some had anticipated that there would be post-election violence. It seems as something that is behind us. Would you say so from where you see it?
Yes, the time for elections is also time for adrenaline to go high. It's normal, but I think we are past the Rubicon. It went well, very well indeed. I think this is one of the elections that have been most peaceful. We are at the tail end of the exercise. We've done the presidential, we've done the parliamentary, we've done some of the special interest groups, and I think now we are about to conclude the local council elections. So far, so good. I think what we need to do now is to take a break, because it's not about politics all the time. We need to live, we need to work, we need to go about our normal business. And I think as we transition from the election mode, we need to be reminded that there is time for other things. There is time for elections, but I think now there is time to move on to other things that define our life, define our country, define our livelihoods.
That either you are on social media or your people are on social media. There's been a threat that has been flying around on social media about something not so good being planned. What do you know?
I have heard about it. If you are talking about the audio going around, doing the rounds, it's in bad faith, and I would want to use this opportunity to call upon Ugandans to ignore it and to go about their business the way they know how. I heard they were calling upon the citizens to shut the borders, to places of worship not to open, that whoever would defy would become a victim, and they went into details of how to enforce that irregular message. But I want to tell Ugandans that it's an empty threat. Go about your business, nothing will happen to you. The security forces will protect you and your property. Ignore that message. It's empty, it's contemptible.
And is there any steps being taken to identify the persons involved in authoring this and bringing them to book?
There are steps to investigate and find out those behind it, but I think the bigger point, the lesson I pick from this is that such negative content will continue, taking advantage of technology. So I think the biggest lesson we should take from this is to go about our business and ignore it. And I think I trust the Ugandans to make choices, and I think the better choice is to ignore such negative and scary messages. In ordinary circumstances, like I said, I wouldn't have responded to it, because it only serves to amplify and dignify such negative messages. But just in case there are people who may want to be given assurance, that's why we come out as leaders in security to assure you that go about your business, nothing will happen to you. Those threats are empty. We have more to live for, we have more to work for, we have our lives to live. We need to work, we need to live, and we can't afford to lose a minute. I think that is the message we need to give to Ugandans. Ejje ligenda bakuuma naye nabo bokka bajja kwekuuma nga ebyo babignoring. Naye ekikulu bannayuganda balina okubaawo, balina okukola, balina okusasula fees, balina okugula emmere, balina okulima, balina byonna bye beetabamu biyamba obulamu obwabwe. Kati yagamba nti beggalewo anaabaliisa. So nze ndowooza lesson gye tujjamu ekyo kugamba nti bannayuganda si basiru, bategeevu, bamanyi ekibaganyulwa, bamanyi n'ekibasala. Ndowooza ekyo kisala nnyo era buli omu akiraba, n'ebirala bijja kujja ebive ng'ebyo nga biyitira ku mutimbagano ogwa tekinologi, ngeri kati gye bakozesa okuweereza ebintu ebyo ebya messages embi. Naye bannayuganda babiveeko, bagende mu maaso n'obulamu bwabwe. Abakuumaddembe bajja bakuuma obulamu bwabwe n'ebintu byabwe.
Banabatambuza ebintu nga bino si batuleetera n'okutugalirawo omutimbagano gwaffe,
kubanga baali bategese n'ebirala ebisukkawo kyekyaleetera okuggalawo. Naye omutimbagano gujja kuggulwawo era ndowooza mu biseera ebitali wala abakulembeze baffe bajja kwogera eri eggwanga engeri y'okukikwatamu ekyo n'okuzaawo omutimbagano nga bwe gwali. Naye messages ng'ezo n'ezisingawo ze baali bategese ez'okukola ebintu ebibi eby'obukyamu ze zaaleetawo okuguggala. Okuguggala kwali kulungi okutaasa obulamu, okutaasa n'embeera. Mpulidde nnyo abantu nga bagamba nti okuggalawo kubakosezza. Yes, kubakosezza, naye buli kintu kirina omuwendo. Enkulaakulana erina omuwendo, eddembe lirina omuwendo. So ndowooza bwogera ku minzaani ne bwetwandigadde omutimbagano bye twandifiiriddwa byandisusse ku ebyo bye tufiiriddwa. So ndowooza mu kulaba ku nsonga eno tulina okukiteeka ku minzaani ate tulabe kiki kye tutaasiza ate kiki kye tufiiriddwa.
People who think they can cause chaos or lawlessness to the state are making the biggest mistake. I know no country is immune to lawlessness, and we are prepared for this challenge. That we have a very robust force, a very agile team. We are a very resilient force, that our resolves cannot be easily unshaken. They are being circulated from outside the country. Of course, we shall also get in touch with the host nations through our diplomatic channels and see how to deal with such people.